TNA hot news. So the Hardys have re-signed with TNA. They've been working on handshake deals like Nick Nemeth has for the last little while. And they've officially, I believe, signed deals to stay there for a minute. I don't think WWE was trying to have them back, but I think there is still an avenue and a lane for that as long as Jeff Hardy doesn't around. It'll happen one day, even if it's not like, oh, the run in NXT, or even if there's no one last match for them. There will be a Hall of Fame induction and all of that, obviously. So shout out the Hardys. Hopefully they're making the bag, and they're just helping TNA right now. And I want to see TNA continue to grow. We're pushing that agenda. They're going to sell 7,500 tickets. Baron Corbin, or Tom Pestock, I guess is his real name. Tom Pestock. So I thought Baron Corbin was a bad name, but no, I'm joking, Tom. You're a good guy. So just when I thought today sucked, I came back and totally redeemed myself. Haha, gold and absolute. So at the Tampa International Open 2024 IBJJF Jiu-Jitsu Championship, he won goddamn gold. Now, I'm telling you right now, this is way more high level than whatever the Moxley was doing, right? And I wonder if Corbin encountered any fry cooks. No, I'm not burying Mox. I defend him with the whole white belt tournament thing. But yeah, Corbin, a legit guy. Maybe we'll see him in Bloodsport one day. Shout him out. Speaking of Bloodsport, Carmen Petrovich, right? Who's like a looker, but she's a shooter, dude. And she's here at Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 12 GCW. Which we're going to talk about later because it ties into the whole Ricky Starks thing. But more NXT superstars here. You know, Bloodsport is amazing because Josh Barnett somehow pulls it off where it's like this half shoot, half work thing. And not just the style of wrestling. It's like back in Pride, you would see, you know, UFC guys would come and compete in the Pride tournaments, or at least once, like Chuck Liddell entered in the Pride tournament and stuff, representing UFC. You just love to see this. Like, there's people from NXT, TNA, AEW, WWE. Moxley was here with Marina Shafir. GCW, Bloodsport, Josh Barnett. He's just such a respected guy, like in the industry, in both industries, MMA as well. He's so respected in both worlds. I believe the youngest heavyweight champion of all time to date as well. I think he holds that distinction, for UFC. I believe so. He, at least at the time, he was, for a long time, he was the youngest guy to achieve that at the heavyweight division. But either way, he's so respected, and man, he just pulls off this great stuff. GCW, Triller, please don't pull us down. Don't Don Stevens us. But here's Carmen Petrovich whooping that ass, winning by TKO at GCW Bloodsport.
That's going to rattle your brains. Oh, good night.
So hitting her little thing, look, we'll go back, boom. And then TKOs her with like worked punches.
And that takes it. Sumi Sakai is out. Carmen Petrovic. That's going to rattle your brains.
That's dope, dude. That's amazing. The Creed brothers competed there, of course. We've seen lots of people, like Moxley was there, as I said, in the crowd. We've seen where Braun Strowman and Shayna Baszler competed there. We'll see more of it as time goes on. GCW's awesome. Lucha Brother is going back to CMLL. So Penta, right? He trademarked the name. I think they own the Lucha Brothers. I think they have for a while, Lucha Bros and Lucha Brothers. But we know that he's trademarked the name King Fuego and Rey Fuego, and that's going to be their names in WWE. So he back to CMLL. And of course, the Pentagon Jr. name he can't use. It's owned by, I believe, CMLL or someone else. It might be AAA. I don't recall exactly the history of it. Maybe someone in chat can refresh my memory, but like Penta El Zero Miedo was the only version of that name he could use. Like Penta Black and all of that's owned by like Lucha Underground and whatever, right? So he's just called Lucha Brother, I guess. And he's going to go to CMLL until Rey Fenix is available, and then they're going to debut in WWE. In my humble opinion, and I don't want to bury Penta in any way, but I don't think WWE wants him just as a solo. I don't think they do. But I think they look at him as a guy who, because I think his time will be up before Rey's is, right? Like, how do we describe this? Penta's like the Matt Hardy of the two. Not that he can't go, but you can tell that spring that was in his step for a lot of years, like it's gone, and he's done a lot of crazy shit. Not that he can't do the stuff, but there's just an extra like step that's kind of okay. You know, it's starting to catch up with him. Not saying I love Penta, but I think they look at him that he'll be a great guy when it comes to like bringing in Mexican and luchador talent. You know, he has those connections, and he's a guy in later years. WWE right now, they're in the present. Trust me, the way their booking is, it's clearly relevant and topical and present, and you know, it reflects what people want right now. But they're looking ahead, and you know that because they're willing to bank on having a Punk come back. Not just because of AEW. If it was just because AEW, they wouldn't have him near NXT as close as he is, right? They want the machine guns there because they know what they can do, the knowledge they can pass to other people, the relationships they have with people on the indies, right? The knowledge they can impart. Like they can get some of these NIL guys and impart the knowledge that you only get from working on the indies. Some of those aspects, they will be able to convey that to some of these people who never spent one day of their lives on the indies. Trust me on that. So Penta will be good for like you're bringing in a Vacair, you're bringing in, I don't know, Psycho Clown Jr. or whatever. Maybe not him, but you guys know what I'm saying. Ray Phoenix, to me, I love Dragon Lee, but Ray Phoenix is the next Rey Mysterio, dog. When they bring him into WWE, if they do it right, Ray Phoenix is like the guy, man. He could be your next Rey Mysterio. There's something about him. He has size for a lucha, but he can fly just as high as Commander. He can do 7 flips just like El Hijo. He can do the springboard, walk the rope, flip off, hurricane. He can do all that. But he's like also got size and a realism to him. And he's like controlled chaos. He's hurling himself at people, but it's like controlled. You know, he's taking the brunt of the damage. And Ray Phoenix to me is one of the most slept on talents in wrestling. And Tony fumbled him so bad, even more than Penta, who's been a world champion every company he's been in. You botch them as the face of your tag division, the masks rather of your tag division. To cheer us up, folks, here's Big Van Vader in the UWFI just beating the out of people for a minute and a half. Let's watch this. See, now this right here is what like Eddie Kingston and Moxley think they're doing, right? This is what like Garcia thinks he's doing, right, against Yuta, but it's not this. Jesus, man. This is like a lost art form of like just brutalizing a dude, but it ain't a shoot. But it like is a shoot though, because you can't really fake a lot of that as far as, you know, you guys get it, a work. And like Vader went maskless too in this league. Like he'd wear his mask backstage and when he'd come out, but he'd take his mask off and just beat the shit out of dudes. Dr. Death Steve Williams. Look at that. Laying dudes out, man. See that? And to think HBK had the balls to like stomp on this dude's head and be like, "Oh, you're fired." You know, Sean you couldn't touch him. You know it. That's the proof, bro. The fact he felt comfortable doing that to Vader, like, dude was invincible. There was no, Bret Hart was never, I believe that too. I don't think Vince was like, "Oh, we can't pay you, pal." I think Sean was like, "You need to get rid of this guy. You know, I cannot work with him. I will not do it." I think that was part of it. Had to be. But look at him, dude.
Vader's back. Vader's back. Back in Japan where he belongs. Vader's back.
Yeah, dude. Shout out Vader, one of my all-time favorites. Yeah. Let's see here. The latest WWE ID guy, his name is the Global Nomad, Jordan Oasis. He debuted in 2015. His finisher is the Haddonfield Hook. Decent look. I'm not familiar with him, but he was scouted from the Future Stars of Wrestling. And he's from Tacoma, so shout him out. Another good scout. So the NXT referee that we scouted a picture of, someone grabbed it from a house show, and we were like, who is this?
Yeah.
We're like, dude, Shawn Michaels scouting like America's Next Top Model level referees. Like, what's going on? Apparently this is like a karate or like a kickboxer girl or something. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but someone said like someone commented somewhere, and I read it like she's a shooter or something, or she's karate or taekwondo or some shit. I don't know. But NXT referee, we have a name, Vicky D'Erico. Shares a new selfie. So she's the NXT ref. I mean, how they didn't try and be like, are you sure you can't wrestle? You know what I mean? How they didn't try
that's
and, like,
what comes in. Maybe they're doing that as a storyline, something different.
And how they didn't give her a microphone or something and be like, can you do interviews or whatever? Crazy. Might be a little distracting reffing matches, you know what I mean? And like not in the Aubrey Edwards way, but in the I'm sorry, but so shout her out. That's her name for all you sick, thirsty bastards. A boxer. There you go. Yeah. So who is the karate? Petrovich is the karate chick. We watched her earlier. Yeah. My bad. Conflated the two blondes there,
good.
but yeah. No, but she's a boxer, right? And you can tell because her nose is sort of you see the bridge of it. That's how you can tell when people fight. It's like
right.
It's like flattened or a little crooked. You get that even from sparring. It's like cauliflower ear for wrestlers. CM Punk shares text about what Stone Cold Steve Austin thought of his WWE return. So this is hilarious. CM Punk shares this a year. Of course, it was the year anniversary of his triumphant WWE return, his return to wrestling. And CM Punk shares text. So he shares a picture of and he sends it to Stone Cold, right? And I'm sure this is how Stone Cold found out he was going to be there too. And it's him on the WWE truck. Or no, he sends the picture, sorry. And then Stone Cold says, handsome Steve Austin.
What?
And then Punk says, my stunning friend.
What?
And then Austin goes, goddamn kid, that was a monster pop. Maybe the loudest I've ever heard. Awesome.
What?
And he smashed 2 beers and chugged. By God, kid, that was a monster pop. Biggest as an Austin pop.
Yeah.
So plans are underway for WWE to introduce a women's intercontinental title for Raw via PWI, PW Insider. They were correct on that and shouted out. Let's take a look at the belt. Here's what it looks like close up. No, Jake, I've seen a lot of opinions online. Some people are like, it's the same as the men's belt. Why doesn't it look different? Couldn't they put some red in there to differentiate them? Just the white strap isn't enough. I'm not overly triggered by it, and it helps sell toys, and it helps put the men and the women on even footing. Like, no, their belt looks the same because it represents. However, I do, as an aesthetic, Mark, as a creative mind myself, I agree, bro. You got to make each title look different, dude.
Well,
I agree with
side
that,
plate
but
now too. So I think that's a big thing for them now, where you put the personal side plates on each of it now. So it's really just the middle that's the same. Everybody gets those side plates.
Right. I mean, I see what you're saying, but the
side
plate
I don't have an
thing,
issue. That's what they did. The white strap seems to be the thing they've been doing for pretty much all of the belts, where the women's belts pretty much the same with the white strap.
Right. It's just not enough. It's like when you make the red and blue belts for me. It's like, why have red and blue? Just make them different designs. So it is what it is, man. To have like a women's US title and you don't put the Statue of Liberty on that thing is a huge L.
Yeah, that's a massive L. I will give you that.
I have no idea.
Big L.
Yeah. So to me, the IC belt, it
Lady
looks
Liberty.
nice, but
that's an easy
maybe
one.
they could have put some red in there to switch it up for women. I guess the white strap, but they do represent the same thing. So I get their psychology behind it. Like, it puts them on even footing, because y'all are the same people saying, should we just call the women's title just the WWE title? And I do that a lot. Like, I just refer to the NXT women's champion when I'm talking. I like to save myself some syllables. I just say it's the NXT champion, or even tag titles. Sometimes I'll go and they become the NXT champ or the WWE champions or whatever, the world champion. You guys know what I'm talking about. So but you need the classification there. Technically, you gotta still call it the women's intercontinental title, just because I don't give a. Because then if you have 2 IC titles, it's just dumb. What you do is what's the IWC can do and take some onus on themselves. Just refer to it as the IC champ, and we'll know what you're talking about. If you say Liv Morgan's the IC champ, we know that she's the women's IC champ. Makes sense, right? So there you go. Take it upon yourselves, you marks. Anyways, sports-based wrestling right here, not counting house shows. I guess, but real, true sports-based wrestling, WWE for the win. A little thing they're doing here is more ticker, more stats, and Bianca Belair most wins in WWE in 2024 overall. This is what UFC does. So what does Bianca Belair have? 24 wins in WWE, the most this year. Braun Breaker's at number 2 with 22. Priest has 21, and then tied with Cargill and Jey Uso, that is. And this is very UFC of them.
Yeah.
Very sports-based. More of this. This is what I thought Tony Khan would be doing.
Yeah, and it shouldn't include
More
the
of
house
this,
shows. It's
yes.
perfect. The house shows are not canon. That's I feel like anybody who complains about somebody losing at a house show has just never been to a house show.
Well, why are they not canon? Exhibition matches at the professional level. Pride would do that. They would have Fedor fight Shinya Aoki. No, just as an exhibition. Yeah, it's just for the audience. It's for the for an exhibition record. That's a real thing too in combat sports. So it's pretty easy to explain. I mean, if you guys watch real sports, you understand. Yeah. It's like the Pro Bowl doesn't go on anyone's record. It's just like an all-star showcase.
Right.
There's times to have fun and
sport, spring training in baseball, preseason hockey, preseason football, or like when European soccer teams come over and do their friendlies over here and Manchester United plays the LA Galaxy. Like, no, that doesn't count, but the fans had fun watching it, and the players got a preseason train. No big deal. Same thing.
Natty by nature, Natty Neidhart responds to
Legend.
WWE, who tweets out, the very first WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion needs to be. And Natty responds and says, well, just with her accolade here, last year, WWE legend Natalya is handed 3 Guinness World Records, taking her tally to 6 Guinness World Records, as the Queen of Hearts reveals a sensational 7th is now in her sights, and she's close to getting a 7th Guinness World Record. She already has 6. One of the GOATs. A lot of people are like, what do you do with Natty? Bro, just keep her on your roster because she's literally, you could say she's one of the GOATs. Yeah. She gets every girl ready too in the PC. Like all these girls, especially the big name ones, the Rondas, like she's who they put her in there with. And that's how you do it, man. I hope she deserves it. Let her be the first women's IC champ, man. She could go down because she's not the first anything. You know what I mean? She's not the first. She's the first Guinness book thing, but in WWE, she's not like the first women's tag champ or the first Rumble winner or the first anything really. But she's had every accolade, unless someone can correct me on that. So here you go. Right? Guinness World Records aren't enough. What are her WWE stats? Let's see her win an IC belt. I'm down with it. So the Undertaker says he still loves Mick Foley and Dave Batista. I don't care what your politics are. Let's watch this little clip here.
And so that it's perfectly clear, I don't have any angst towards Dave Batista. I mean, he's still in I haven't seen him, but he's still a good friend of mine and somebody that if I saw him, I would give him a big hug. Mick Foley too. I mean, I don't care what your politics are. You're wrong. Everybody knows it. Yeah. But I still love you, and I'm going to.
Damn. So just kind of still taking a shot, but yeah, man, you can't let that sort of get in the way of true friendship. And let's be honest, Mick Foley and Undertaker went to hell and back. Hell, not just hell, but hell in a cell.
Yeah, Mick Foley posted on Halloween him in an Undertaker costume. So yeah, like they've, hey, that's how everybody works. Believe in your politics, have your religion, how it works. You don't have to hate each other.
Dude, yeah. If you have a different politics than one of your friends, then that makes you not friends, dude. Come on, you can't be doing that. Chat. Hey, sickos, please don't scare this one away. You guys will see in the sicko segment. People, they are trying to Kat Dennings Vanessa Hudgens here. So we'll read about that in a bit in our sicko segment. The acclaimed, the revered sicko segment, just revered in the IWC, revered and feared. But Rhea Ripley hanging out with Vanessa Hudgens. She's, of course, supporting Roman Reigns. They put the camera on her, of course, because how do you not? And she's a big pro wrestling supporter and fan, WWE particularly, Roman Reigns particularly, and they're not going to run her off, chat. They're not going to run her off IWC. Don't worry. She's probably already dealt with it for a few years now. This isn't her first sighting, or this isn't the first time.
Right, she probably muted him the first post from somebody, and she muted him.
So she's not a first timer, but yeah, they Of course, the sickos, a lot of them came out and were like, oh, you would love AEW. Do you like Lashley and guys who left WWE? Yeah, well, I guess they're over at this other place. Isn't that more interesting than the place they were just at? Yeah, I mean, so, yeah, shout out Vanessa Hudgens, though.
Yeah.
So the next prospect scouted from WWE ID debuted in 2018, Freedom Ramsey, which is another great name. He does the Freedom Buster and the Fist of Freedom. He's from City Championship Wrestling, is where they scouted him, and he's from hailing out of Detroit, Michigan. So shout him out. That should be good stuff. WWE ID. Cultaholic Wrestling tweets out, CM Punk is said to be a model citizen backstage in WWE since his return at last year's Survivor Series. He is believed to have been quite helpful in the company. But I thought he was a cancer and making people fear for their lives. And
funny what happens when a professional works with professionals. I mean, that's just so shocking. And he's working with professionals.
Like, oh, don't lie. Fightful's lie. It's like, I don't know, man. Punk is not a cancer backstage.
Did you watch the thing on YouTube, the full backstage thing? The video, it's like 9 minutes on the WWE Vault page. It's really good.
I don't tell me that Punk threatened to kill. I'm trying to word this correctly, right? Threatened to kill Jack Perry because in his interview with Helwani, he said, and I said to Jack, like, Jack, why are you doing this? And Jack's like, well, what are you going to do about it? And I was like, Jack, I'd kill you. He's like, the dude I was debating with was like, that's a real death threat. No, and I'm like, whoa. And then I just would love to ask everyone, the audience can tell me. So when Mike Tyson said to, maybe I'll fight Logan Paul next, and then Logan goes, I'd kill you, and everyone laughs at it, is that a real death threat? Come on, bro. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's no way. Like, they made Punk out to be so much more vile than he was. Yeah. Is the point I'm getting at, right? Like, to where we can point to other instances, not to even do a whataboutism, but a direct same thing that other people have done. Like, okay, Eddie Kingston slapped someone. He's not a toxic, whatever, he's not a cancer backstage, even though a bunch of the boys openly didn't like him before AEW and might not like him now. You know, no one's saying the same. It was a smear campaign, and people took it to that level of like, he was in WWE for how many years? How many people did he fist fight for real?
Right. No, people were taking like, they're doing like polls of, is he going to last 6 months? And I was always like, he's going to be there for a long time. I never thought it was going to be there forever now. Day one. Yeah. Because he's working with professionals. The behind the scenes thing that they've shown clips of it on Raw and NXT. I watched the whole thing on YouTube. It's awesome because you can see him. He's like smiling and like he's like Bruce Pritchard is leading him along all happily. Like everybody's in good shape. Like everybody's having fun. They're hugging. Like Stephanie's there. It's great. It's an awesome. Like you can see that literally the entire vibe is different because one crazy old man isn't there.
Speaking of crazy old bastards, Sean Waltman, the 1-2-3 kid, he's lived a wild and crazy life. And he tags Shawn Michaels and says, next week's NXT show looks too good to miss. I'm coming to Orlando to watch it live. So we're getting all the ECW, WCW nostalgia member berries in NXT. Reunion. And I'm here for it. Hopefully there is some sort of NWO presence, or hopefully there's just some sort of DX presence or anything. They want to keep doing ECW, WCW stuff. I say do more of it. I say intertwine the NXT history with some of those old legends. It's a good way to do the member berry thing and get interest onto NXT. The ECW thing was a smashing hit. They are already using the pay-per-view names for TV specials and for their own PLEs. Continue to do that with WCW as well. I like it that it's NXT as well, and let's just see more of it. They just did the ECW thing. Okay, Sean Waltman, more legends. We love legends interacting with the young guys, man. That's how we know.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah,
that's how we know the business. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's and Waltman can teach all these guys who wrestlers these days are perceived smaller. Waltman was perceived smaller. Now, mind you, he was like 6 or 6'1", but he was like a skinnier dude. He kind of did the flips before anyone really did it. And man, he's the guy that you want people talking to backstage, especially in that locker room. I can't wait to see what unfolds there. RIP Scott Hall. When you're NWO, you're too sweet. And when you're NWO, you're NWO for life.
Or
And
life.
I, sir, yeah, I'm a little NWOite, as they used to call them. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for WWE Hot News.